What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a special edition of ELA1 Desde la Casa, Senor Williamson. That would be from my house. Anyway, so we're going to jump right into it. Daily quote. Just kidding. Didn't feel like doing one. So we're going to go to the daily objective, which is I can analyze the way Steinbeck portrays the death of Candy's dog. Spoiler alert. Well, at least you know what's coming. Sad scene. But we're going to take a look at the men and the way that they kind of handle and approach the situation. If you remember, Candy is the old man swamper, and he also has a very old dog. So we're going to look into the way that the men kind of bring up this subject and the way that it's presented to you. So be ready to do that. By the end of this lesson, we're going to kind of take a look at the death of his dog, and you're going to tell me about it. Okay, everyone. So just a quick announcement before we get started. I have been noticing looking back through the videos and the way that people are answering questions in the videos, that I'm not seeing the thoroughness that I would like to see in your answers. Some people are clearly skipping questions in the video, so just know that when I'm looking through these, I'm going to be looking very closely at the questions that I asked during the video. So if you are not completing them, your grade will be affected significantly. So please take your time through the videos. When I ask the questions, look at them, listen to them, answer them thoroughly. This is your warning, so do it well, okay? So we're going to start on page 43. So if you do not have your novel open, go ahead and pause and do that now. Get to page 43. When you read with me, you become a better reader. Not only that, right off the bat, I'm going to ask you guys to look through the book at some things that have been read, so make sure you have that ready. Our focus for these pages, 1, why does Carlson think they should shoot Candy's dog? He's going to kind of make some arguments for it. Then secondly, do people agree with him? Pay attention to those things as we are reading through the novel. Okay, so if you're in your novel, we're about 3/4 of the way down page 43 at It Was Almost Dark Outside Now. It was almost dark outside now. Old Candy, the swamper, came in and went to his bunk, and behind him struggled his old dog. Hello, Slim. Hello, George. Didn't either of you play horseshoes? I don't like to play every night, said Slim. Candy went on. Either of you guys got a slug of whiskey? I got a gut ache. I ain't, said Slim. I'd drink it myself if I had, and I ain't got a gut ache neither. Got a bad gut ache, said Candy. Them gosh dang turnips give it to me. I know they was going to before I ever ate 'em. The thick-bodied Carlson came in out of the darkening yard. He walked to the other end of the bunkhouse and turned on the second shaded light. Darker than hell in here, he said. Jesus, how that inward can pitch shoes. That means horseshoes. He's really good at the game horseshoes. Yeah, he's plenty good, said Slim. Damn right he is, said Carlson. He don't give nobody else a chance to win. He stopped and sniffed the air, and still sniffing, looked down at the old dog. God almighty, that dog stinks. Get him out of here, Candy. I don't know nothing that stinks as bad as an old dog. You gotta get him out. Candy rolled to the edge of his bunk. He reached over and patted the ancient dog, and he apologized. I've been around him so much, I never noticed how he stinks. Well, I can't stand him in here, said Carlson. That stink hangs around even after he's gone. He walked over with his heavy-legged stride and looked down at the dog. Got no teeth, he said. He's all stiff with rheumatism. Rheumatism is arthritis. It means his joints are stiff, so he probably doesn't walk too well. He ain't no good to you, Candy, and he ain't no good to himself. Why don't you shoot him, Candy? Okay, everyone. So got one question coming to you, then we'll read a little more and got some more questions. Okay, so question 1A. In this section, Carlson lists reasons in favor of killing Candy's dog. What evidence does he list to support this assertion? What reasons does Candy provide that go against this action? So right now we're just going to talk about Carlson's argument as to why they should kill Candy's dog. So what I want you to do now is I want you to look back on page 44 in the whole middle part of that section. He lists multiple reasons why the dog should be put down. So I want you to go ahead and put at least 2 quotes that are arguments as to why the dog should be put down. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I listed 3 different reasons that you probably could have put. There's honestly maybe more, but Oh, so kind of these are doubled up. But he says one, it smells really, really, really bad. He talks about that a lot. And the second one, he says that the dog is also in pain. It has rheumatism, which is like arthritis. He says that it's no good to himself or Candy. He also tells Candy that he could get a new pup instead. And he also makes the argument that it wouldn't hurt the dog any if he just shot him in the back of the head. Okay, so now we continue on at the bottom of page 44 at the old man squirmed uncomfortably. This was right after Carlson says, "Why don't you just shoot him?" The old man squirmed uncomfortably. Well, hell, I had him so long. Had him since he was a pup. I herded sheep with him, he said proudly. You wouldn't think it to look at him now, but he was the best damn sheepdog I ever seen. George said, I seen a guy in Weed that had an Airedale could herd sheep. Learned it from the other dogs. Carlson was not to be put off. Look, Candy, this dog just suffers himself all the time. If you was to take him out and shoot him right in the back of the head, he leaned over and pointed. Right there. Why, he never know what hit him. Candy looked about unhappily. No, he said softly. No, I couldn't do that. I had him too long. He don't have no fun, Carlson insisted. And he stinks to beat hell. Tell you what, I'll shoot him for you. Then it won't be you that does it. Candy threw his legs off the bunk. He scratched the white stubble whiskers on his cheek nervously. I'm so used to him, he said softly. I had him from a pup. Well, you ain't been taking kind to him keeping him alive, said Carlson. Look, Slim's bitch, his dog. Slim's bitch got a litter right now. I bet Slim won't give you I bet Slim would give you one of them pups to raise up, wouldn't you, Slim? All right, everyone. So now that we've listed why Carlson is in favor of killing Candy's dog, Candy kind of responds and says a few different reasons why he thinks that they shouldn't kill the dog. So now what I want you to do is look on the bottom of 44 and kind of to the top middle of page 45. List 2 reasons why Candy says that they should not kill the dog. Okay, so just to name 3, kind of the ones he repeats. Candy's had him a long time since he was a pup, so he's really attached to him. He's been a really great dog. He was like a really good herding dog. So he kind of thinks he doesn't deserve to be put down. And then lastly, that it could possibly hurt the dog. So now I want to pose a second question to you. So Carlson lists really like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 different reasons why the dog should be put down. But which reason above seems to be Carlson's primary motivation? Why does he really want this dog put down? What might this suggest about his character? I want you to answer that in 2 to 3 sentences now. Okay, so the thing that he keeps bringing up and that he actually seems really frustrated by is the smell of the old dog. The other reasons he lists are just a way to convince Candy to see his side of things. He's not listening to the protest the dog's owner is making, Candy, suggesting that he's lacking empathy, meaning it doesn't really matter what Candy is going to say. He wants the dog put down pretty much just because it stinks. Okay, so now we're going to continue on about halfway down page 45 at the Skinner had been studying the old dog. The Skinner had been studying the old dog with his calm eyes. Yeah, said Slint. He said, you can have a pup if you want to. He seemed to shake himself free for speech. Look, Carl's right, Candy. That dog ain't no good to himself. I wish that somebody'd shoot me if I ever get old and a cripple. Candy looked helplessly at him, for Slim's opinions were law. Maybe it'd hurt him, he suggested. I don't mind taking care of him. Carlson said, the way I'd shoot him, he wouldn't feel nothing. I'd put the gun right there. He pointed with his toe. Right back of the head. He wouldn't even quiver. Candy looked for help from face to face. It was quite dark outside by now. A young laboring man came in. His sloping shoulders were bent forward, and he walked heavily on his heels, as though he carried the invisible grain bag. So we're meeting a new character named Wit. He went to his bunk and put his hat on the shelf. Then he picked up a pulp magazine for his shelf and brought it to the light over the table. Did I show you this, Slim? he asked. Show me what? The young man turned to the back of the magazine, put it down on the table, and pointed with his finger. Right there, read that. Slim bent over it. Go on, said the young man. Read it out loud. Dear editor, Slim read slowly. I read your mag for 6 years and I think it is the best on the market. I like stories by Peter Rand. I think he is a wingding. Give us more like The Dark Rider. I don't write many letters, just thought I would tell you I think your mag is the best dime's worth I ever spent. Slim looked up questioningly. What do you want me to read that for? Whit said, Go on, read the name at the bottom. Slim read, Yours for success, William Tenner. He glanced up at Whit again. What you want me to read that for? Whit closed the magazine impressively. Don't you remember Bill Timmer? Worked here about 3 months ago? Slim thought. Little guy? He asked. Drove a cultivator? That's him, Whit cried. That's the guy. You think he's the guy who wrote this letter? I know it. Bill and me was in here one day. Bill had one of them books that just come. He was looking at it and he says, I wrote a letter. Wonder if they put it in the book. But it wasn't there. Bill says, maybe they're saving it for later. And that's just what they done. There it is. Guess you're right, said Slim. Got it right in the book. George held out his hands for the magazine. Let's look at it. Whit found the place again, but he did not surrender his hold on it. He pointed out the letter with his forefinger, and then he went to his box shelf and laid the magazine carefully in. I wonder if Bill's seen it, he said. Bill and me worked in that patch of field peas. Run cultivators, both of us. Bill was a hell of a nice fella. Okay, so I have 2 more questions coming to you about this section that we will answer thoroughly, real quickly. Question 2A, Slim joins Carlson's his side. So Carlson is talking to Candy about how the dog should be put down, and Slim ends up agreeing with Carlson. Why does this development make Candy feel helpless about the situation? Answer in 1 sentence now. Okay, so Slim has power and respect on the ranch. If Slim believes the sheepdog should be killed, the sheepdog will be killed. So Candy knows that when Slim joins Carlson's side and says, yeah, they should put it down, that almost guarantees that it will. So that kind of brings us back to something that Slim said. So we're going to take a look at it. So this is how Candy, the old man swamper right here, it's kind of a portrayal of him. This is how he's first described. The door opened and a tall, stoop-shouldered old man came in. He pointed with his right arm, and out of the sleeve came a round, stick-like wrist, but no hand. So he's an old man. He's disabled. He's missing a hand. So that pulls us into something that Slim said in this section. In this chapter, Slim justifies the shooting of the dog, saying, I wish somebody'd shoot me if I got old and crippled. So I want you to tell me in 2 to 3 sentences, why might this statement be considered ironic, and how could this statement make Candy feel? So how does this statement saying that I wish somebody'd shoot me if I got old and crippled, how might that statement make Candy feel? Go ahead and answer that now. Okay, so not only does Slim's language include a strikingly blunt tone in a time of clear emotional crisis for Candy, it also directly kind of antagonizes Candy. Slim may indirectly suggest that Candy, who himself is old and crippled, has outlived his usefulness, making Candy feel like he should be put down like they are suggesting about the dog. So Candy's dog is kind of similar to him. So while he is very old and crippled, the dog is old and crippled. So when Slim says, I wish somebody'd shoot me if I was old and crippled, even though he's talking about the dog, Candy kind of makes it kind of seems like Candy feels like Slim just said that about him, which probably makes him feel pretty not great.